How's your health?
And
are you 100%?
I always say I'm 100%, but I'm better than before, so that's a plus.
50, 60, 100%? Where you at?
So like 80, 75, 80. Just trying to work my way back up. You know what I'm saying? Trying to work my way back up, but at Georgia, you're never going to be 100%, so it really don't matter.
Along those lines, I mean, I know you've dealt with injuries throughout your time here. How have you mentally navigated trying to get through all of those various injuries you've dealt with?
I'll probably say rehabbing the mental more than the physical has probably been the toughest part about everything. Physically, I can go in the training room. I'll be in there 3-4 times a day. But mentally, I mean, it still weighs on me. You know, I'm not the same as I was before. I had a lot of high hopes going into last season, and basically didn't play a lot last year. So, I mean, it took a toll on you. But I mean, as a leader now and as an older guy in my room, I got taken that into account. I mean, I just got to step up and shake that off a little bit, you know. But it's hard. I mean, everything's hard for being here, but you know, it comes with this. It's just hard. That's all it is. It's hard.
Oh yeah, a lot of interior offensive line positions obviously up for grabs. A lot of snaps up for grabs there. I know you're a pretty physical dude yourself. Who's maybe like the one guy that has been the most physical, matching your physicality, I guess, so far this spring?
I mean, of course, Michael Morris, Ernest Green, Drew Bubble. He's stepped up a lot. I mean, weight room wise, we're in the same living group, so I see the work he put in every day. You know, so I'm looking at him every day. But just by the last 2 padded practices, I mean, Michael, of course, I mean, he's kind of like making a name for himself. Today was the first day of counter, so you know that went. Had to meet him pulling, so that was fun. So you know, those guys most definitely, but even like the young guys like Daniel Calhoun. Today was Michael Ooney taking those 1 reps, so those guys stepping up. I mean, they're not as physical as the more polished vets in the room, but I mean, everybody's just Georgia. Everybody gonna be strong, but those guys that I named, I feel like are the most up the tune when it comes to physicality.
We'll go back up to Roddy and then Jim.
Give me your thought process when you get the second diagnosis. Hey, you've got another fracture, other side. What was that like in your mind, man?
Like I said, I'm still recovering from that. That was the hardest thing I ever had to deal with mentally in my life. Like, I've never been hurt before, ever. Never had a surgery, and I went and had 3 surgeries in like the last 7 months. So, not being able to walk, sitting in the hospital bed, like during fall camp, like a time where like you fine-tune yourself, getting ready for the season, and basically getting all your reps and learning where your spot is on the team, solidifying yourself. But you know, it was tough. You know, like hearing that, like automatically, I broke down. I didn't do it for everybody, you know. But I called my dad. Yeah, I called my dad. I broke down. And I was 18. I'm a kid. I was a kid still. You feel me? So I'm 18, 19. I'm going through changes in life at a university where you know the pressure's on you. You know, and you're in the spotlight. So having to deal with that, but also having to stay strong mentally because of the leadership role that has been put on me and the way I've carried myself, and I've earned that. Is that right? I feel like it was a big adjustment for me, and it was a maturity gap that I feel like I needed. I needed to learn how to deal with things like that mentally. So I mean, it was bad, but it's always a good thing in the end, right?
You had so many older guys in front of you, whether it's Warren or Nas or all these guys. One, what are the biggest things you've learned from them? And 2, how excited are you to hopefully actually get to show that on the field?
Excited, not even worried, man. I'm more than thrilled. Working out with those guys during pro day, during spring break, I stayed here. So I was with Warren and Nas almost every single day. Still learning from him. You can never learn too much. But something I feel like I learned from, I feel like every guy in the room, work ethic and consistency is a big thing, especially at D-line. Mainly because, you know, you may have a good day, you may have a bad day, but you're never gonna win every rep. Like, it's impossible at D-line. Like, as a defensive lineman here, we know and we understand that we have the most physically demanding job on the field. Taking on double teams, playing scoop blocks, you know, regardless of what it is, we got the weight of the defense on our back. And that burden of responsibility is something that we carry and we hold. So basically like sharing that burden with them and them giving me tips like hand placement, how to sit on a double team, like things like that. Something I feel like I picked up from all of them.
a lot of buzz already about Elijah Griffin. I think Warren probably added to that with some of his comments he made at Pro Day about him. How would you describe what you've seen from Elijah Griffin already?
He reminds me a lot of myself, work ethic wise, but not when it comes to the weight room. I was not as strong as he was when I first got here. You could tell why he was a top 5 recruit in his class, and he still has a lot more work to do. But at the end of the day, he's gonna be a good one. He's gonna be a good one. You can tell he's a hard worker and good work ethic. Strong as I get out, you know what I'm saying? He's an ox, you know what I'm saying? So he's a good kid, you know what I'm saying? That takes you a long way.
We'll go to Jake here.
Joseph Jonah-Janye as a guy that came in last year. He's kind of young, if I'm understand that right. I think he's only 18 as well. He's had that injury, but what have you seen from him kind of being a raw football player, a guy that hasn't played a ton?
Yeah. Well, y'all probably don't know this about Joseph, but he probably might be one of the funniest guys on the team. So he has this thing about himself when it comes to his work ethic. He works hard as well. I've never seen anybody bounce back from what he had, even with Smile and Ty having that same injury. He attacked it in a different way. Everybody goes through injuries here, and everybody gets down on himself a little bit, but you rarely see Joseph down when it came to that. He has a thing where he said, because he's African, he like puts that out there before everybody, and he says his genetics are more different than everybody else on the team. So if you ever get a chance to interview him, he'll tell him himself. But he just said just like this: my genetics are just so more superior than everyone. He'll say that, but he's a hard worker as well. You know, like he's a tough guy. And I feel like he's bouncing back from the injury the same way I feel like everybody else had.
Mark.
Do you do any other impressions?
I got a lot of the bag. A lot of it.
Yeah.
I gotta get a lot of bleeps on that one.
I was going to ask you, you talk about all the time that you've been in the training room. Probably got to know Ron Corsi more than you ever want to. How much, what can you say about his new role and then the two guys that stepped into what he was doing that you probably know pretty well too?
I didn't even notice about Mr. Ron, but Mr. Ron, like the grand poobah of athletic training. I didn't even know that. He was here for 30 years and 10 years before that, and then went to the Olympics, and a lot of different things Mr. Ron did. So being around him for that long was actually great, you know, like learning from him about different things I should be doing in the training room, and you know, him having those guys, Connor and Ryan, they do a fantastic job at what they do. So passing that along to them, because honestly, it was a smooth transition. You really don't see no difference in the way they do their job. So you see everybody's recovering from the injuries. I mean, Brock, for instance, like he's Superman, so you can't really say nothing about that. But he bounced back from his injury the same way everybody else has. So you can see the way they detail their work and how much passion they put into it. So passing it along to them, it wasn't too hard for Mr. Ron, I feel like. I mean, of course, stepping away from the job you've been doing for such a long time, holding a 40 to 30 year tenure is not easy at all, especially in the athletic training field. So I feel like he's earned the position he has right now. Is well overdue, and I'm glad for him.
What can you tell us about Christian Miller?
That's my guy. Yeah, that's my guy. You know, that's big bro. I don't even tell him a lot, but I look up to him a lot. You know, he been through a lot of things that I have. Like when I first got here, it was me and him and John Jefferson. He's gone now to SMU, but that's my guy since I first got here. You know, and I seen the transition he made, the leap he made last year. Like I don't know how much work we put in the offseason last season. So you know, this year it's a big year for him, a big year for our defensive line. But he's a leader in our room, and he has some special things coming for this season.
Go right here, second row.
Have you and Christian talked about exactly what you want to bring out of some of these young guys? You mentioned Elijah, but some other defensive linemen in this class, what y'all want to see them grow in?
I feel like everything starts with your heart. You gotta want to play football. You gotta love it. You know, especially being here, you gotta love playing football. It's not easy being here. I'm saying knowing that the job and the way everything works here, everything's not gonna go your way. You gotta be positive about things all the time, and you gotta really have zeal and want for the game, you know. So I feel like that's one thing we're looking for right now, because it's early. It's practice for the spring, second day in pads, so you really can't see too much out of everybody. But deeper on into the spring, I feel like we'll be looking for a lot. I just say a lot. The last piece to the puzzle when it comes to our room of guys that we feel like we can lean on.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate that.